forget that. You're working for me Saturday night. Exactly. Humble yourself. Yes,
you're under his car.
You work for me Saturday night. I'm still your landlord. Yeah. Don't forget that. I'm still your landlord. Yeah. Exactly.
Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua have just shaken the boxing world. This fight is bigger, more intense, and more lucrative than anyone expected. What began as a small comeback plan after Jake Paul's canceled bout has now turned into one of the most surprising matchups in boxing history.
It's going to be the toughest fight of his career.
Shut up, relax.
The most embarrassing fight of his career.
There's a chair across your face.
Yeah, I think he's about to cry.
After his November 14th fight with Gervonta Tank Davis was abruptly canceled, Jake Paul found himself under pressure. The internet doubted him, sponsors grew impatient, and Netflix was reportedly still expecting a major headline event before the year ended. True to his style, Jake went all in. His answer? Challenge Anthony Joshua, the former unified heavyweight champion and one of boxing's most feared fighters.
Talking right now about doing Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul.
I know, I saw that.
Jake Paul apparently wants that fight. And he agreed to, I think it was 99% to 1, where Joshua gets 99% of the money and he gets 1%.
This isn't just another celebrity boxing match. Reports say both fighters could make around $92 million each, with Jake hinting on X that his own payout might be even higher. His 3-word post sent social media into a frenzy. Stop asking me $267 million. In less than 3 hours, it had over 1 million views. The numbers are staggering, the stakes enormous. But beyond all the money and hype, there's a serious reality. This fight isn't just business. It's personal, and tensions are rising. What began as hype has now become one of the most explosive showdowns boxing has ever seen.
How much does each fighter get?
They get a lot of money, as they should, because they're putting on a massive global...
For Jake Paul, this fight is more than just another event. It's a move to stay in the game. After losing his November fight, the pressure from fans and executives was intense. Netflix wanted a huge hit, and the public demanded answers. Jake, who thrives in chaos, rose to the challenge. He built his career on shocking the world, but this time, even his fans wondered if he'd pushed too far. Taking on Anthony Joshua, a man nearly 40 pounds heavier with Olympic gold, isn't just bold, it's almost reckless.
Now, a lot of people have said, well, if he doesn't knock him out the way in which he knocked out Francis Ngannou, he's a sham, this is a sham, this is all rigged. A lot of people said if Jake wins, this is a sham, this is rigged. A lot of people said if he goes the distance with Jake, this is a sham, this is all rigged. Some people are saying even before it was finalized, Gareth on our show, although he folded quite quickly when he was face-to-face with Eddie at the open workouts. I saw that on IFL TV.
Boxing analyst Ariel Helwani didn't hold back. He called it a dangerous move, pointing to what happened to Francis Ngannou, who was knocked out cold by Joshua and left motionless on the canvas. Helwani warned, it's not an exaggeration to say people die in boxing. This fight puts Jake Paul at extreme risk of serious injury. But if Jake felt nervous, he didn't show it. Instead, he leaned in, taunted Joshua, mocked his critics, and promised he'd shock the world once more.
Oh, tiny thing. I'm a big boy. Yeah.
The internet exploded, and within hours, the fight everyone thought impossible was official. While Jake played the role of the internet rebel, Joshua stepped in as the composed powerhouse. Speaking soon after the announcement, Joshua made his intentions clear. Jake, or anyone, was in for a lesson. No mercy. It wasn't empty talk, it was a statement. After years of criticism, comeback bouts, and doubts about his drive, Joshua saw this as the perfect chance to prove himself. He vowed to break records and make a huge impact over Jake Paul.
Let's go! The time in the house, let's go! Yeah.
While Jake feeds off chaos, Joshua stands for control. Precise, focused, a man who has experienced the peaks of world championships and the lows of crushing losses. This fight isn't just about money for him. It's about legacy, a chance to show the world he still dominates in a sport leaning more towards show than skill. And when the two finally faced each other, what happened next surprised everyone. Picture this, a packed press room, cameras flashing, reporters shouting, and tension so thick you could almost touch it. Jake walks in, grinning, confident, loud, and bold. Joshua follows, towering, composed, but clearly irritated. And then it starts. Jake starts taunting Joshua, calling him washed up, saying the sport needs fresh talent, and even joking about his losses. Joshua stays calm at first, but when Jake steps too close, one smirk too many, Joshua reacts. He moves right up to Jake's face. Security rushes in, and the room erupts, shouts, chaos, flashing cameras, and through it all, Jake is still grinning. That moment explodes across social media. Clips everywhere. Fans calling Jake fearless while others warn it's career suicide. But the drama didn't stop there. Once the cameras were off, reports say the tension behind the scenes grew even stronger.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby.
Tyson Fury fueled the fire with a shocking prediction. Jake Paul by KO, coming from Fury, Joshua's longtime rival. That statement packed a punch. Fury and Joshua have circled each other for nearly a decade without ever fighting, and now Fury was publicly backing Jake. Chaos erupted. Team Paul and Team AJ trended for days. Some fans called Fury's comment trolling, while others saw it as brilliant promotion. Suddenly, this fight became more than boxing. It turned into a major cultural event.
Was jumped a little bit and fired early. There had been conversations. We were flirting with the idea of having this little 8-round fight this year. Not with Jake Paul, by the way, because he was fighting Gervonta Davis. You wouldn't have really heard of the person we were going to fight. We received a phone call from Nikisa Baldirian, from MVP, and he said, look, would you want to fight Jake Paul? And I said, listen, I don't want to just be a publicity muppet for you.
And while fans debated who would come out on top, a more serious question emerged. Is Jake Paul really safe? The boxing world hasn't been this united in concern in a long time. Former world champion David Haye warned, if Jake Paul ends up against the ropes with Anthony Joshua unloading on him, it could be the end. It could be his last day. Other professionals shared the same worry, echoing Haye's fears.
The damage that's going to be inflicted to him. Boxing's a dangerous, dangerous game. Your brain isn't supposed to rattle around in your head, particularly the way it's going to for Jake Paul when Anthony Joshua starts letting those punches fly. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be, I hope they've got some real good paramedics close by, because it could be that bad.
Olympic hopeful Atelma told BBC Sport that Jake Paul needs to rethink his team. This fight is absurd, they said. Even Ryan Garcia, famous for his bold opinions, admitted that this is the worst possible matchup Jake could choose.
If he could win 1 or 2 rounds, to me, that's a W. You know what I mean? So this fight is probably the worst fight that Jake Paul could have taken. Out of all the fights, he probably had a choice. You know, myself, who else did they say? I forgot. The other guy, you know what I mean? That's worse. This is a big dude, heavyweight. Like, how you go from 135 to 225? Like you know, it's going to be difficult.
If Jake manages to win even a single round, it's considered a victory. Even critics agree he's testing the limits of what's physically safe. Yet despite all the warnings and risks, Jake keeps pushing forward. His response to every concern? Some see it as arrogance, others as unshakable confidence. After the backlash, he doubled down in true Jake Paul style, reposting his viral X message, "Stop asking me $267 million. For fans, it was the ultimate flex. For critics, pure delusion. But one thing was clear, Jake Paul had everyone talking. Even respected promoter Frank Warren stepped in to defend him.
It's a fight that will generate a lot of viewing figures. The guys will get extraordinarily well paid for it. You've got AJ, who's obviously well known over here. In America, he's not got such a big profile, but Jake Paul certainly has, and lots of followers. It's a fight that I'm sure that AJ will go in as a massive favourite, former two-time world champion, naturally a big heavyweight.
1975, a year prior, a man by the name of George Foreman, coming off the loss to Muhammad Ali. We have the poster somewhere. Where is it? Right over there. George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, 15-round fight. The Rumble in the Jungle in Africa. I realize that I'm pointing at something that you cannot see, but trust me, that fight happened in 1975. He lost that fight. He was devastated.